Okay, this is a video to remind you how to round your answers if you need to in the exam. So just to remind you about decimal places first. This number, 6.8546, we've been asked to round to 3 decimal places. That means our answer must have 3 numbers after the decimal point and no more. The 6 just stays there, that's fine, that just keeps the same, but we've got to work out what we need in these 3 places. That's the first decimal place, second decimal place, third decimal place. So all we need to do is work out, do we change that 4 to a 5 or do we leave it as a 4? Well, you look to the right. What's its neighbour say? If its neighbour is 5 or above, you give it a shove, so it goes up to a 5. If it's 4 or below, you let it go, so it would stay as a 4. So in this case, the neighbour is 6, which is bigger than 5. So that means that the 4 will round up. So this number to 3 decimal places will become 6.855. Okay? 3 numbers after the decimal point, 3 decimal places. Let's have a look at this example. 6.598. We're asked to round to 2 decimal places. That means we've got to have 2 numbers after the decimal point. So we need to draw our line and think, does the 9 stay as it is or does it round up? Look at its neighbour, that's 8, that's 5 or above. So we need to give that 9 a shove. Now, if we round up 9, it goes up to 10, but we don't want that. We can't put it as a 10. So what we do is we put the 0 of the 10 in that column and we add the 10, the 1, onto the 5, making that a 6. So our answer would be 6.60. And I need to put that 0 there to show everybody that that's the number that it's closest to 2 decimal places. So just to go over that one again, 6.598, we're rounding to 2 decimal places. We need something in that space, something in that space. We need to think, do we need to round that 9 up or not? Look at its neighbour. Yes, that's 5 or above, so we need to round that 9 up. If I round 9 up, it goes up to a 10. We can't fit both digits in the same column here, so we put the 0 of the 10 there and add the 1 of the 10 onto the 5 in that column, so that becomes 6. Okay, significant figures. Remember, we fly in from the left. The first non-zero number I hit will be the first significant figure. So that 3 is the first significant figure, then second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth, and so on. This question's asked us to round to 3 significant figures. So we want the 3, that's our first. We want the 2, that's our second. The 5 is our third significant figure, so that's the last thing we want. We just need to ask, do we round it up to a 6 or not? And here we look at its neighbour. 9 is 5 or above, so we need to round up that 5. We give it a shove up to 6. So this will become 32.6. The 3 and the 2 do not change in this example. Okay, 3 significant figures. Now, we can use significant figures to round whole numbers. Look, there's no decimal point here at all. So we can use significant figures to round whole numbers. Here we've been asked to round it to 3 significant figures. That's my first. The 4's my first, the 1's my second. That 0, once it's inside a number, that is significant. So that's our third significant figure. So that's where we draw our line. 1, 2, 3 significant figures. Now, do I round that 0 up to a 1 or not? Let's look at its neighbour. Yes, it's 5 or above. So that 0 will round up to 1. So the 4 stays as it is, the 1 stays as it is, the 0 rounds up to 1. However, I do need to put something here to ensure that that 1 stays in the right column. So I add these zeros to make sure that 1 is in the hundreds column where it should be. If I didn't put those zeros, I'd say that 41,073 rounds to 411. Completely different number, not near it at all. So we'll need those zeros to keep these numbers in their right columns. Okay? Right, the last one. Rounding, there are lots of decimal places here. but I'm actually being told to round to 3 significant figures. I can do that. Remember, you fly in from the left, 0, 0, 0. Ah, there. That's the first non-zero digit or number. So that's my first significant figure. My second and my third. Then I just need to see, do I need to round that 4 up to a 5 or not? Check out its neighbour. Yeah, its neighbour is 5 or above, so I need to give it a shove. So what happens is that 5 stays the same, the 0 stays the same, that 4 changes up to a 5, and that's it. That's all I need to do.